There is a very interesting trivia about the Cricket World Cup. 1983, Sunil Walson. 2007, Shantakumaran Srishant. 2011, Shantakumaran Srishant. And 2024, Sanju Samson. It pays to have a Mallu in the squad, ladies and gentlemen. With that happy note, let me just tell you that we got the cup every time there was a Mallu in the squad. Whether they play, they get a chance to be part of the playing 11 or not, that's what happened. And all these times, we did bring back the cup, like this moment. But what a moment this one. The bus is full, Wankhede is full, Marine Drive is full, and it's going to take them a while to get there. They have to catch up on time because things have started about an hour and a half behind schedule. But the players, despite that long flight, despite a very, very early morning in Delhi where they met the Prime Minister, and then, of course, a long day because they have traversed from Delhi to Mumbai, and then here, they are not giving up. Look at the energy of the crowd translating into the players who've now just woken up. And that's Jasprit Bumrah, player of the tournament. Jasprit Bumrah with the cup in his hand, with that 93 jersey. Next to him, Rohit Sharma is there at the back end. This is the front end of the bus. You have some members of the BCCI there. Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid, Surya Kumar Yadav all towards the back end of the bus. And they're all busy making pictures and moments because these are all moments they would like to savor. Who's seen Rahul Dravid like he is? He's the Mr. Cool, quiet, the wall. But even he could not control his emotions and he had to let go. And he did that again on top of that bus just a short while ago. Look at these pictures. Ravindra Jadeja with that cap there on the far end. There is, that looks like Jaiswal, the BCCI, he's also wearing the India jersey in there with the team. Rajeev Shukla is also there with the team. See, cricket brings everybody together. Even if they are politically opposed, ladies and gentlemen, the sport brings everybody together. And there are the support staff who've done some phenomenal work. They're all present there. I think that's Ashish Shelar also, who's present there on top of the bus. But it's the players. More than the players now, it's about the fans. Look at the fans how they have queued up. Their flags are waving, they are shouting. This is the moment for the fans to also revel and also let out and share that joy of winning the cup and this cup coming back. And Marine Drive has got fond memories. If those roads, if those walls, and if the waves of the sea there could speak, they have seen this happen often. They've seen this happen in 1983. They saw this happen in 2007. They saw this happen in 2011. And they are seeing it manifest again. Those who reside in those homes and also who are lucky to have their rooms in some of those hotels there, they are having the ringside view of these celebrations and the madness that it is that cricket brings out in all of us. Let's try and go across to our guests. We should have Angad Bedi, Kunal Kohli joining us, Ayaz Memon joining us, Sanjay Jha, Anand Ranganathan, all joining us this evening. And also Ashish Chaudhary. All of them should be joining us in just a bit. Let's first go across to Angad. Angad joins us. Angad, first question. Thank you for speaking with us. Your thoughts? What a phenomenal victory. And did you think that this time around, this is how we're going to be celebrating?
So I feel what stands out in the team is their unity. They're very proud of each other. Uh, there have been situations where during the IPL there was a lot of tension, but then again they all came together as a unit. They knew that what 2011 meant to them. After that, we lost the finals, and then it was a dream for everybody. In 2011, they brought it back for the great Sachin Tendulkar, and this time they wanted to do it for themselves. And Rohit Sharma had also been part of the previous World Cup, and there was a lot of onus that he had taken upon himself. Yes, because he's been a phenomenal leader. He's taken over the captaincy and learned the ropes on and had a great influence of MS Dhoni upon him, with the likes of a legendary player like Virat Kohli in the side. I just felt that when you play as a unit, you acknowledge each other's presence, and you want to do well for the team. Then I just feel that the entire universe comes and makes it happen for you, and that's what has happened. Whether people were talking about Virat Kohli and his scores in the tournament, there was a feeling inside me that I'm a firm believer that you should never peak too early. I feel that
Yes,
sometimes when you
correct.
peak too early, you are not at really your best. That's my personal opinion. And I just felt that our team got a great game against Pakistan, which was extremely tough, and we did well there. Conditions weren't favorable in the entire tournament, but I just felt for with Virat, I could sense that he was literally like a ticking bomb. He was just waiting to explode. And for a not just a cricketing fan, but for a person who's known him over the years, I knew he's going to come out with something really special, and he had kept his best for the last. And that knock of 70 plus was that really made a big difference to the winning total.
Absolutely, and this episode of this edition of the Right Stand is towards the fans of cricket, ladies and gentlemen. So Angad is with us. Angad has played cricket. Of course, he's got cricketing pedigree. He's the son of Bishan Singh Bediji. He's played cricket in real and in real, and he will be with us through this special broadcast. We also have Kunal Kohli, filmmaker, avid cricket buff. As a cricketing fan, how do you see this fantastic moment, this sea of humanity, sea of cricketing fanatics who are out there cheering for this team that's brought back the T20 World Cup? Kunal.
Well, so strangely, I was a young kid during 83 when we won in 83. And I was watching it in my grandfather's house and we won. And I remember so clearly, Kapil Dev, he like kicked the ground like a raging bull. And we won that tournament. And then we all went out on Marine Drive. We went out on Marine Drive in the middle of the night and celebrated. And now this match, we have a cricket group. These three friends of mine, four of us from school. Okay, we're school friends. You can see white hair. School friends mean we go back a long way, and we call ourselves cricket junkies, cricket junkies. And we were on the chat, the WhatsApp chat together. One in Laguna Beach, one in Delhi, one in Bombay. We're all over the world watching the match together, and we had given up. We had just completely given up. It was like 30 of 30, 26 of 26, game over. It's done. We were not saying it. We were just like disappointed, dejected. And then Sky. Oh my God, what Sky did at that point in time was, I mean, it's like Kapil Dev. It was exactly like that. That running back, the catch that Kapil Dev took that changed the match. That was, of course, more in the early part of the innings at that time. But this was right at the end of the inning.
A crunch moment.
And then when Hardik had the last over, honestly, we were like, uh-oh, this is not going to happen. But he did it. It was like, so until that point in time, who hadn't performed, they all performed.
Yes.
Kohli,
So right.
Hardik, everybody who had not performed till that moment, they just stood up, came up and performed. And it's like, Kohli is born for the big stage, for the big moments. Just when you need him most, he delivers.
Yes.
And Hardik is fitting into that zone of, just when you need him, he delivers, as opposed to when you need him, he doesn't deliver.
Correct.
So it was just so many emotions that were coming together. And Dravid, one of the, I won't say unsung, because Dravid has always been the backbone of Indian cricket.
Yes.
When
The wall.
Sachin was creating the records and creating everything, there was Dravid on the other side. People don't always give Dravid that much credit in Sachin's career as he should be getting, or in Ganguly's career, or with just the way Dravid keeps the team together, even in those when he was a player, and now as a coach. So that the magic and the calmness and the astute cricket brain of Dravid, we just it all just came together, and it was so beautiful to see that.
Yes, and it is beautiful to see today too that cricket and sport is bringing people together, ideologically apart, politically apart. Rajeev Shukla, Ashish Shelar, Jai Shah, they're all on the same bank. And today, like I said, it's all for the fans. So somebody who's dabbled in cricket and also made a business of it is also with us at this point. Sanjay Jha with us. And ideological poles apart, and they spar quite often on the right stand. But today, I think they'll all agree that it's a moment of celebration. Anand Ranganathan is also with us. Namaste. Good evening to everybody. Sanjay Jha, खुश तो बहुत होंगे आप.
Anand, let me tell you that the Cricket Next that I started in 2000 is now part of the business empire that you are part of, and I'm
Yes.
glad that I'm glad that it is doing well. I would just like to say this that I have always believed that in T20 India has been a fantastic team, even if it has not been winning the World Cup after 2007. If you look at the players in this team on purely on paper, they were the favorites from the very beginning. The problem with T20 is very unpredictable, right? As you saw in the final, it seemed to have gone South Africa's way, and suddenly the match turned, which is why I think T20 is probably the most difficult game in sports where you can predict who's going to be the winner. And unlike tests where you know that certain teams are going to do well, it's not going to be easy for an Afghanistan or a Bangladesh to win the World Test Championship because they're the favorites are going to be over a sustained period of time. It's like playing a Grand Slam best of 5 sets. So I think when you look at India's success in T20, it's more about actually winning an international tournament that I think they frankly deserved. Don't forget, Anand, that they have been in the finals of the World Test Championship twice and lost it. Uh, in the ODI World Cup against Australia,
Yes.
they were again the clear favorites. Choked in the end. It happens. I mean, that's a game. I would say that even if India had not, supposing South Africa had won, I would have still maintained that India is the best team in T20.
Correct.
Now, because of the nature of the beast, it's very difficult. You and I both, have spent so much time on cricket. I remember in
Yes.
our early days. The truth is that India's victory today, I think, is a statement for the players. And I think the gentleman before me was talking about Rahul Dravid, etc. You
Yeah.
know that Rahul Dravid has been receiving a lot of brickbats because India has been, somewhere down the line,
Correct.
just faltering at the last mile. I'm
True.
so glad when you saw his body language, the last hurrah, so well deserved. Rahul is one of those very
Yeah.
unassuming, down to earth characters that when he makes that kind of, body language of bravado, it's a very special feeling.
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, again, if you look at Rohit and Virat Kohli opening for India in a T20 match, I love the fact that Rohit Sharma continued to bat for Virat until the finals where Kohli was having a fairly lean trot. And I think end of day, that is the beauty of this game. But can I make one point here? It's a
Gee, sure.
controversial one. I need to say it. Hardik Pandya, to me, this is the man, as far as I'm concerned, who I think has risen like a phoenix from the ashes.
Absolutely.
Anand, I need to tell you something here. When the world was piling onto this guy left, right, and center, I live in Mumbai, and at the Wankhede Stadium, he was being booed. He's the captain of the Mumbai
Yeah.
Indians team,
Yeah.
and he was being booed all over the place. People were ridiculing him, and it showed in his form.
Correct.
Mumbai Indians, a five-time champion, came last in the IPL.
Correct.
And exactly a month later, with the same players, now Captain Rohit Sharma tosses the ball to Hardik Pandya. Hardik
Correct.
Pandya produces a brilliant last over. By the way, I think Kunal was wrong when he said that Hardik falters. Hardik actually has been your man of the moment for a long time, representing India. Now, I think this is the bottom line. To all the viewers who are today celebrating India, please be fair to your cricketers. They're human beings. They'll have their ups and downs. Rohit Sharma went through a bad form in the IPL. People said, well, he was no longer the captain. There were toxic and negative vibes in the Mumbai Indians team. But there were three Mumbai Indians people in that last
Right.
deciding match. Surya Kumar literally plucks, as they say, a ball from the skies, literally. You have Rohit Sharma as the captain, having a grand end to his captaincy in a T20 World Cup. A victory at last after the extremely devastating emotional loss in the finals against Australia just a couple
Right.
of months ago. And then you had Hardik Pandya, a man who was kind of being booed all over the country. People were making all kinds of snide remarks on him, and it affected him. And here was a guy who, from the first match to the end, I thought played with so much of cool composure and temperament. To me, this is a sign that in India, we need to just love our players. We have to love all sports, cricket, hockey, any sport, tennis. But I do believe that we need to understand that you can have a high, you can have a low. But back your cricketers. Nobody goes to a field to lose.
True,
Trust them. They're
and
all
these ebbs and
professionals.
flows. Cricket is a great leveler, isn't it? Whatever you did
Yeah.
on match one may see you get tonked for 24 overs, but the next time you put
Yeah.
24 runs, and the next time you will get two wickets and give only two or three runs, and you turn the match. But what you've done is you've stuck to the process, believed in the process, and continue to deliver there. Anand, before I come across to you, I've got Kishore Trivedi ji. He is Jasprit Bumrah's coach. Kishore ji, namaste.
नमस्ते नमस्ते।
नमस्ते। प्लेयर ऑफ द टूर्नामेंट हैं जसप्रीत, क्या स्टोरी है इनकी, क्या कहेंगे, कैसा लग रहा है इनको देखकर कि देखिए इतना बड़ा जनसमूह आया है मुंबई में उनका स्वागत करने के लिए।
बहुत बहुत खुशी हुए थे, बहुत प्राउड फील करता हूं मैं, और सारी इंडियन टीम को मैं बधाई देता हूं जो वर्ल्ड कप जीतकर आए हैं।
पर किशोर जी, क्या जसप्रीत हमेशा से ऐसी बॉलिंग करते थे? क्या उनका हमेशा टेम्परामेंट ऐसा ही रहता था, कूल काम, और उनको पता है करना क्या है, या फिर ये धीरे धीरे सीख के आए?
हाँ, पहले से ही वो ऐसे ही शाई था। पहले जब बॉलिंग करने आता था तो पहले शाई था, ऐसा ही है, बहुत एग्रेसिव, कम दिखाई देता था, बहुत कम बातें करता था, लेकिन अपने बॉलिंग में बहुत ध्यान रखता था।
पर वो ऐसे ही दौड़ते थे हमेशा, उनका एक्शन ऐसे ही हुआ करता था, थोड़ा सा हॉप, छोटा सा रन अप, पर इतनी स्पीड, इतना पेस।
हाँ, यही तो एक खूबी है। तो पहले से मैं जब वो नेट में आया मेरे पास, तो वही वो एक्शन देखकर सब बच्चे बोलने लगे कि ये एक्शन में थोड़ी गड़बड़ है सर। मैंने बोला कि नहीं, एक्शन बराबर है, और उसकी स्पीड ज्यादा आती, जनरेट करता था। 1500 से भी बहुत ज्यादा स्पीड मेंटेन करता था। तो इसके पीछे मेरे को भी पता नहीं चलता कि ये स्पीड कहाँ से आती है। ये गॉड गिफ्ट जैसा बोलते हैं ना हम, ये गॉड गिफ्ट है।
जसप्रीत के टीम में किसने सबसे ज्यादा मदद की? अभी देखिए तस्वीरों में विराट कोहली, रोहित शर्मा सब दिख रहे हैं। इन दोनों ने तो रिटायर कर लिया T20 फॉर्मेट से, लेकिन टीम में जसप्रीत की किसने मदद की?
जसप्रीत को जो IPL प्लेटफॉर्म मिला उसको 2020 में, तो वहां से वो शाइन आउट हुआ, और उसकी कैरियर वहीं से भी ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से हुई। वनडे में, 2020 में, टेस्ट में, और 3 फॉर्मेट में।
आपको लगता है जसप्रीत टीम की कप्तानी कर सकते हैं?
डेफिनेटली कर सकता है।
क्यों?
क्योंकि आयरलैंड में उन्होंने लीड किया था, और वहां भी सीरीज जीत के आए थे ना। आफ्टर इंजरी।
हाँ। तो
आपको उसने काबिलियत है कैप्टनशिप करने में।
अच्छा, क्या बात है, क्या बात है। किशोर जी, आप बने रहिए। Anand Ranganathan is also with us. The players are now coming into the mood. They're really now feeling the vibes and the energy of the fans. This is what fans do to you. They just buoy you up, and when your shoulders are drooping, just that cheer, just that egging them on brings back that belief. And I think this is the moment of the fans. 3-4 greats of this game, of this format of the game, are now going to call time on it. Ravindra Jadeja not there, Anand Ranganathan, no more Rohit Sharma, no more Virat Kohli in T20 internationals. Rahul Dravid no longer the coach. There are a lot of things that are going to change.
Good evening, Anand. It's such an amazing occasion and such a brilliant panel, and it's a real honor and a privilege to be a part of it. You know, as CLR James put it so beautifully, what do they know of cricket who only cricket know? You know, 40 years ago, Kunal mentioned this in fact, but 40 years ago when we were bundled out for 183, we went on to win the World Cup by beating arguably the best cricket team ever assembled in the history of the sport. Many put it down to that catch that Kapil took off Richards. In fact,
Kunal was talking about it.
Yes. And this time round, it was Bumrah and Surya Kumar Yadav and that catch of Miller that sealed it. You know, Bumrah's 2 remaining overs are like Ma ke Kangan for a bankrupt man. You know, and I was 10 years old. I was 10 years old when I watched the 83 final. I think Sanjay must have been 20 or 30. But I was up at 30,000 feet in the air during this T20 final, and the captain was relaying the information every now and then. 30 of 30 balls, he said, and all of us cursed. Then 12 of 4, and we cursed again, and then he roared, we have won, and we erupted. It was incredible. You know, Anand, we lost the World Cup final of the 50-year format back in November, as you know. But we won the World Cup final of the 20 over format. The craft, the skill, the talent, the desire were the same in Ahmedabad as they were in Barbados.
Yes.
So our players know of cricket, but it seems they know not only of cricket. At what point does this intangible creep in? And in what does it manifest?
Yeah.
Love for the country, to see cricket field as a battlefield. At what point does the whole become greater than the sum of its parts? Spine always grows in the back that is against the wall, they say. And this time round, more than the South Africans, I think it was the Indian back that was against the wall. We wanted to win more than they did. I know it is easy to philosophize after the event, but had we lost, had a billion hearts been broken that day, think of another final. Think of Kylian Mbappe, who scored 4 times in that one of the greatest World Cup matches ever played and still lost to Argentina. 4 times he scored. So let us raise a toast to what our team achieved. Total supremacy. Anand, ours is a land of extremes. For every spirit that soars, there are 10 that are crushed. Millions have their backs against the wall. Doctors, farmers, scientists, cricketers, Jawans. So many disappointments and frustrations that can crush you. Indeed do. So what has changed? Difficult to put a finger to it, to be honest. And by no means I disrespect the battles of a previous generation of players fought and won. But I think when you come down to it, I think it was the spirit that was unleashed in 1991. Call it the Darwinian spirit, the emulsion of empathy and survival of the fittest, where the Indians said to the state, unshackle me, watch me compete. I have been held prisoner for too long, been running as part of a chain gang. Set me free. I believe it is that spirit which has since percolated down. They defined the intangible. They defined India itself, and it is simply this, that you can either react out of fear or out of fearlessness. Choose.
True.
And our cricketers chose fearlessness.
The sum is greater, or the whole is greater than the sum. They say that this is where perhaps that God particle comes into play, if I may say so. Let's also try and go across to Kunal Kohli once again. Kunal, I want your thoughts on Jasprit Bumrah. What do you think? What a story of this lad. There's a beautiful story of somebody who's known him from when he was a kid, his humble beginnings, and how he has grown into stature to somebody the world fears, respects, and we as a team depend upon. Like just now he said, Anand Ranganathan said, last 2 overs of Bumrah are like, maa ke kangan for a bankrupt man. Yes, Kunal.
We have never been after, yes, we've had Kapil Dev, Zahir Khan, Javagal Srinath, we've had, but Bumrah is, Kapil is one of my most favorite cricketers. I know him personally. He's an amazing human being. Bumrah, as just a bowler, is at a level where I doubt we've had another bowler at that level, at pace bowling, of course, not talking about spin and Kumble and Bedi and all the other greats we've had.
Right.
Pace bowling, I think it was Ravi Shastri who made this comment that Andy Roberts, no one lesser than Andy Roberts, came up to Bumrah and told him that you would be one of us and we'd probably give you the new ball. Now that is something else. If Andy Roberts is giving that compliment to somebody, I don't think you or me or anyone can give a compliment that big to Bumrah, but we can put him, that he puts himself in that league of all-time great bowlers the world over, not just in India.
Yeah.
So Bumrah is at that level and that league.
Absolutely.
And to have him playing in this generation, and when we say we're going to miss Virat and we're going to miss Rohit, yes, but we have Bumrah. We have Bumrah, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage the world over. And as a maker of romantic films, I have to say, his interaction with his wife is one of the cutest things I have seen online, on Instagram,
With Sanjana,
the reels. The way they interact, the way after we won the World Cup, he just hugged her after one interview. And another one, which was the real classic and really cute, was, he's like, I'll see you in 20 minutes. And she's like, what's for dinner? They're such a cute couple, the two of them. And they're just adorable as a couple.
Absolutely.
God bless them as a couple.
Yeah.
And Bumrah, however romantic he might be, off the field, on the field, he's a terror.
Yeah.
He's a terror for everyone all across the world.
No, he is. He is a terror. And You know, his son shares a name with one of our panelists, Angad, and he himself has become quite a rage. But before we go across to Angad Bedi, I got another very good friend who's out with family, not in Bharat at this point. Had he been there, he would have been at the Wankhede for sure at this point. Ashish, how are you?
Hi, Anand. How are you doing? Thank you for calling me. Thanks to you, I'm getting to see what's happening there in India. And this is extraordinary. I have goosebumps.
देखो
I
भाई
don't know how to express it, man.
आप पेशे से तो एक्टर हो बट पता है दिल से क्रिकेटर हो so that's why I had to get you on.
Yes,
So
totally.
so let me ask you, what is special for you in this victory? Who do you think you'd pick out and say भाई इसकी वजह से जीते हैं?
Uh, See, I think the whole team has been an extraordinary unit. I am here in Paris right now, and wherever I'm traveling, India, either ways for what it's doing, people are looking at Indians in great light. But thanks to cricket, also now everybody is like,
Paris is going to be the Olympics now at end of this month, and again our Indian athletes are going to be there.
Correct.
Yeah?
They are exactly, and they've got the eye. So cricket is now. We already had 20 teams compete this time now, and you come in. So it's becoming more and more global. These guys have worked as a unit and really done us proud. I, of course, would put a finger on Jaiswal Bumrah, who's. I heard Kunal talk about him
Yes.
and talk about how his romance in his personal life is. But I'm in a school group, and all the mothers of my children's friends are talking about Bumrah, and suddenly he has this huge female fandom, and he deserves it. I'm not jealous at all.
But what for you was the moment of the final?
Well,
Was it
Virat
Sky
coming
Scats?
back.
Was it Janssen getting yorked? Was it Bumrah's over when they needed 30 of 30? What is the moment for you? Or was it Kohli's 70 odd?
My wife that day sat down, and she used to not watch too much of cricket, and I saw her totally turn around and become a big cricket buff. She said, "This is the best match I've watched of any sport ever in my life." I said, "Hey, you never liked cricket?" But she's saying, "No, but I love my country, and look at the way they're playing." Because she, in fact, in that match pointed out, of course, Virat coming back when time was for him to perform. I mean, he probably had a bad run just 15, 20 days before
Yes.
the World Cup happened. We were raving and raging about how he had played in the IPL and being the highest scorer, now suddenly having that tough run. My heart was going out to him, but something told everyone that this man is going to eventually do something and get back whatever he's lost, and he's done it just at the right time, spectacularly, just when we needed him. That's the mark of a true star. Bumrah, I already pointed out to, extraordinary. I mean, he's fear. I mean, like, he's a person who is the best bowler in the world, undoubtedly. And to be there is no easy feat, because I have a lot of cricketer friends, and Zahir, being one of my closer friends, has been very expressive about the fact that bowlers' lives are not easy. They have so many injuries.
Yes.
They have torn toes, and they're broken toenails, and they have to make holes in their shoes. And of course, that arm action. And I've played for the CCL, and
Yes,
I'm not
I
a
know.
great cricketer. But trust me, after a match, you need rest. And you have injuries, it's painful, even if you're not bowling, only if you're running. But this guy, with his action, and he just comes back from an injury the way he performs. So it was him, Surya Kumar. Oh my God, that one catch will
Yes.
make you forgive anything that man has not done right in the past ever. My children, who don't understand anything about cricket, they have just seen that one catch and, repeatedly watched it on something on their mobile phone, and they're
Yeah,
like,
how did
"Daddy,
he do
Daddy,
it?
look
How
at
did he
this.
do
Look
it?"
at how he caught that ball." So it was really cute. And everybody, Rohit performed through the tournament. He's been a great captain. His bowling choices were insanely good. Akshar Patel, who unfortunately has taken away a space from some other players, I'm sure. But that's unfortunately for them. But fortunately for him, he's come out to be a gem we really needed. It was just a huge unit work. Kuldeep, I think, is a great bowler, but for some reason was not performing that match.
So let
But
me
he
ask
kept
you.
it together.
Let me ask you this. I know
Yeah.
you're not with us for a long time. So let me quickly ask you this so
Yeah.
that you can get back to your family. So Ravindra Jadeja
Sure.
is retiring. Rohit Sharma retiring from T20. Virat Kohli retiring from T20. किसको रोल दे के CCL में लाने वाले हो? एक्टर बनाओ फिर CCL में खिलाओ.
So I have my friend Sohail Khan, who's I'm sure going to give them a film role, because that's the easiest thing for us to do. Na? Inko role de do, so they'll qualify now. So we have to find out who's ready to act first.
True. But had you been in Mumbai, would you have been at the Wankhede?
Oh yes, 100%. I have a lot of cricketer friends, Anand, and I'll tell you, these boys are hard. They come from small towns. They work so hard, and when they see success, I've seen humility and gentlemanship from all of them. To come and celebrate their success. Sorry, it's breezy here, but to come and celebrate their success would be nothing but an honor for me. But thanks to you, like I said, I'm going to see what's happening on the streets of Marine Drive, where I've grown up, being a tough-bred boy from Bombay. I am as good as with them in spirit. I'm with my kids. If I wasn't, I would have flown back, but this is their summer vacation, so giving them a good time. But I love my country, and I love what these boys have done for us.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashish. Thank you for speaking with us. Sanjay Jha, so many memories, so many moments that are being spoken about. Thanks a lot, Ashish. Hardik Pandya, many people are saying and they're talking about, and you also touched upon the fact that, he went through a tough time. He went through a tough 6 months. Personally, also, he's going through a lot of challenges. Look at Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah also went through a tough time, a career-threatening injury. We don't talk much about Rishabh Pant. Nobody thought he's going to be there playing IPL and then thereafter representing as a first choice keeper at the T20 World Cup and bat at number 3. And he's done that. 2 years back, nobody would have given him that choice. This doesn't happen easily. This takes a different kind of grit.
Anand, let me tell you, there are so many Chuck Day stories in the Indian team. I'm so glad you pointed that out. If you look at the humble beginnings of players like Jasprit Bumrah to the dizzying heights he's reached today, and an injury, by the way, that kept him out of competitive cricket for almost a year. And, when a fast bowler has a back problem, that can, frankly speaking, be career-threatening. It can actually be fatal in terms of any longevity thereafter. So, this comeback is extraordinary. Rishabh Pant accident, when, you saw him in crutches during the IPL that he missed, he was a tragic sight. So, if you think about it, and, I'm glad you mentioned Hardik again. Hardik is, in my opinion, an epitome of pure resilience.
Yeah.
And think about it, even he had an injury that kept him out of the World Cup.
Yeah,
and, even that, these things take time in terms of recovery. It's a blow to your confidence. Yeah, absolutely. And here, Anand, is the key. If you think about it, the ODI defeat to Australia at Ahmedabad in the World Cup, it could have crippled many a player in the team. I heard stories about how Rohit was personally, emotionally kind of bankrupted by the loss, and as were, of course, many other players.
Yeah.
But for the entire unit to get together, knowing that they have to get back into an arena, and by the way, this T20 World Cup was a very tricky terrain.
Correct.
Being played on wickets in the United States, where, by the way, any team could beat anybody, right?
Yeah.
We saw what happened to Pakistan.
Yeah.
So
we saw what happened to Australia.
You were more absolutely. Whacked out. So you were more vulnerable to an upset, and there was no way that you could rationalize that to your crazy followers back home, as you can see on your screen. But a defeat is a defeat, a victory is a victory. So end of day, I think the biggest statement of the evening, or the performance that we saw in the evening we are seeing now, is the fact that this team believed in a resurrection, I think, individually, and that statement at the end of that match.
Right.
Because as somebody rightly mentioned, South Africa has this mental, shall we say, block somewhere where they come close to winning, and then, the classic choke happens.
Right.
This Indian team showed to you, and I remember growing up and watching that famous match in Sharjah, where I think the last ball was hit for a 6 when Chetan Sharma, and we somewhere down the line took that defeat as a fait accompli. I think for a long time, and I would give a lot of credit, Anand, to Saurav Ganguly. Saurav Ganguly, I remember the time when we launched Cricket Next, was the man who gave you the belief that you could do it. In the 2002, if you remember, the Champions Cup, we were in the finals. It ended up being a draw. 2003 World Cup in South Africa, where I was there watching the finals.
Yeah.
And we almost came to it. And then, of course, Australia thumped us. But I think the belief that we could do it happened. But I think the fantastic script was really written by MS Dhoni. A 2007 World Cup, the inaugural T20, where the biggies said, we are not interested in this pajama cricket. And Saurav and Rahul and Sachin and everyone dropped out. And suddenly we were T20 champions, and an IPL happened. And I don't think India has thereafter looked back, even if the T20 World Cup has taken a long time in coming back.
Yeah, you know,
So
in
hats
terms
off
of
to the entire
performance,
team.
we've always been somewhere there. You know, quickly, Angad
Yeah.
had. I'm just going to go back to Angad. Angad, thank you for your patience, and he had a very interesting story about Hardik. Yeah, yes, your thoughts, Angad. You know a lot of these people very closely, very well. Yes.
And
Hardik,
I'm hoping,
what a
like,
story.
Hard, what a lovely story. And you know, my heart goes out to him. In fact, I put up on my feed, I had put up and I said, we were the people who failed you, Hardik, but you never failed us. Because I went for a few games and I saw him being booed, and the crowd was not very graceful. And he kept quiet and he kept on taking it. Though he was the captain, whether he came out to bat or whether he came out to bowl, there was a surround sound in the ground where they were not very welcoming of his appearance on the field, and they were booing him. And he didn't say anything. He neither did he show dissent, neither did he react or respond. And I felt this has been the best response, not even a reaction. This is a good response because today, and I myself was one of those people who had to put out the story where I said that we as people, as cricket lovers, have failed you, but you did not fail us.
Yeah.
And I felt that whether it was he got his runs, he at the time when it mattered the most, he went and hit his big sixes, and he bowled so well, and the amount of wickets he's got, he's actually the unsung hero of this tournament. And I
Yeah,
felt
so
that
rightly
he
said.
let his cricket do the talking, he let his bat do the talking, he let his ball do the talking, and I felt that his final breakdown on the ground was just a culmination of all things coming together.
Yes.
And the way Rohit held him, picked him up on his shoulders,
Yeah, what
even
a
when he
moment
was
that
trying to
was.
do an interview, he went out there and embraced him and gave him a peck on his cheek. It just showed the brotherhood, and it just showed how happy everybody was for him to do well. Because अक्सर क्या होता है इतने बड़े मुकाम में जब आप खेल रहे होते हो in front of so many millions and millions of people, it's very difficult to hold your nerve at the time where you're coming from not a very great tournament as far as IPL was concerned into the World Cup, and to find form, to hold your own, to find form with the ball also, because there was a lot of
Yeah.
criticism regarding the fact that he isn't bowling enough. And it's the same story. I felt it was very similar to Yuvraj Singh's story before the World Cup. UV was not in form.
Correct.
And then I remember the story when UV and Master spoke, and Master did tell him, he said that तूफान आने से पहले समुद्र बिल्कुल शांत हो जाता है, स्थिर हो जाता है, and
Correct.
then you see the rise. And I felt that that's the same story Hardik has had. And it is just beautiful. Today there are such wonderful visuals coming where the Indian team landed in Delhi. You can feel the sense of pride. You can see Hardik dancing. I saw some visuals of Rohit dancing before he was entering the team hotel, and they went and met the Prime Minister, and now everybody is
Yeah.
बारिश हो रही है मुंबई में, लेकिन हर कोई इंसान वानखेड़े स्टेडियम पहुंचना चाह रहा है.
बहुत
And मरीन ड्राइव पर लोग ऑलरेडी खड़े हो चुके हैं.
खड़े नहीं,
So I feel
भीड़
it is
भीड़ है,
just,
इतनी
I
इतनी
just
भीड़ है,
feel
and
it
I think the
again.
team has now
दिल को
reached
जान
the
की यादें
Wankhede Stadium.
Team bus होगा.
Team has reached the Wankhede Stadium, Angad, and we've got Ayaz Memon also. Ayaz bhai, November, हार गए. Then a lot of the players didn't have a very good, especially Rohit and Hardik, very tough IPL, Mumbai Indians. Many were wondering. Nobody expected this team to be undefeated and eventually champions. Frankly, at the start of the tournament, did you list India as the favorites to win?
Well,
And
I mean,
Aj,
look,
how do you feel?
Anand, I think in hindsight, everything looks wonderful. It looks like
Yes.
an immaculate performance, flawless performance because we won all the matches. But as you pointed out, there were many ifs and buts as we went into the tournament. Hardik Pandya's poor form, the damage to his morale by the way he was treated in the IPL. Out of form, Rohit Sharma. Virat Kohli under scrutiny for his strike rate. I don't know how bizarre that is, but it was there. And then there was the selection. I mean, there's no KL Rahul, no Mohammad Shami, two of your stalwarts, because one was injured, the other was also injured, a little out of form. Then in the selection, there were questions. You got three left-arm spinners. क्या एक ज़्यादा तो नहीं हो गया? तीन क्यों ले जा रहे हैं? 5 left-hand batsmen. भाई किसको accommodate करोगे? Questions like that. But more than anything else, I think it was a question of this team having reached so close and yet remained so far from winning the ODI World Cup. They had to rebuild their confidence in a sense, and say, hey, we can do it. Remember, they've been very well knit since 2022 World Cup. I think that's the turning point, in my opinion, where the strategy started changing, where Rohit Sharma decided that one has to be a lot more enterprising, even adventurous, risk-taking, aggressive, and then all that fizzled into shape with a tempered into a more logical way of doing things by, I think, the processes that Rahul Dravid must have kind of instilled, that we must do things driven by data, by logic, cricket logic, and then from there onwards, World Test Championship, we finish in the final, we don't win the final. ODI World Cup, we're in the final, we don't win the final. But I thought things were beginning to take shape after the ODI World Cup, because the mindset seemed to be vastly different from 2022. The approach, how to go about winning matches. Rohit himself, the bionic batting that we've seen in the last 6-8 months from him, actually started, finding expression there.
Yeah.
And Bumrah coming back, I think Sanjay mentioned or you mentioned, coming back from such serious injury and coming back a better bowler. Better bowler in ODIs, better bowler in Test cricket, better bowler in T20. In fact, the world's best bowler today, and not just a pace bowler, the world's best bowler, period.
Yeah, period.
So we've had a lot of, and some, look at the guys who really come good in this. You expect the big stars, Kohli, under pressure, but coming good because he's a big occasion player. Akshar Patel, Arshdeep Singh, these were, Shivam Dubey. They've made such vital contribution. I mean, Arshdeep has finished as the highest run getter in the wicket taker in the tournament. Akshar Patel, Sky's catch was brilliant. Moment of magic in the final. But don't forget Akshar's catch to dismiss Mitch Marsh.
Yeah,
when we look
that
like
turned the match against Australia. True.
Against Australia. So it's been a combination of many things. But fundamentally, I want to make this point, Anand. The coming together of Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid, and Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar, coming on the same page, defining a vision, working towards the strategies which will fulfill that vision, strategies in terms of which players to pick, what roles they'll be given, and how we'll go about doing it, with Rohit Sharma being absolutely marvellous on the field as captain.
True, there is some melee there, fans wanting to get in even as the bus is coming close. It is entering the Wankhede. We've got pictures there. The players are dancing. Some of the players have all decided to just go ahead and dance, and I think that was Shivam Dubey who's dancing there, and amidst tight security. It's a hassle for the security guys. They can't even celebrate. They got to do their duty. They got to protect the players and ensure that the whole mood is still celebratory. There you go. Phil, Dhol, Nagada, Lejim, lots of dancing, everything's happening. In the last 41 minutes, two things that stuck with me. One is mark a Kangan for the bankrupt. That is Bumrah's last 2 overs. And the other one is Rohit's bionic batting. Amazing coinages, Ayaz Memon and Anand Ranganathan. Anand, yes, go ahead, please. You wanted to share something. Go ahead, please.
No, I just wanted to say, I think I want to gently castigate my good friend Sanjay Jha, because the normal nature of our debates that we have week in, week out has changed him, because he's a confirmed sadist. I was hoping nobody would mention that Chetan Sharma's last ball. And he did. I could not sleep for months after that. Months. And Chetan Sharma also said he was being hunted wherever he walked.
Anand, the short point.
That ball changed us. But, I want to say 3 things very quickly. Number 1, look at our bench strength. And I think that's remarkable. I'm not just talking about during this World Cup. There were days, and Sanjay would remember, when Gavaskar retired or Sachin retired, we were like despondent. Oh my God, now who? Now we have Rohit retiring, we have Kohli retiring, and we already have on the bench Shubman Gill. We have KL Rahul. So, this augurs so well.
Yashasvi, Jaiswal. It's a long list.
Nine out of 11 who played the final, Indians, are actually playing all 3 formats of the game, which is remarkable. That tells you how good cricketers they are, because a true cricketer will be able to transform himself from 50 over to T20 to Test match, and 9 of them are actually playing all 3 formats. That's remarkable. And finally, can we please put to death this conspiracy theory once and for all that IPL is bad for Indian cricket? No. The greatest thing for Indian cricket has been the IPL. IPL is the one that has produced these gems.
True, not just the gems, also various ways of engaging, improving, and also newer techniques, newer ways of
Another one point.
innovation, and also figuring out, be it batting, be it bowling, be it even field setting, captaincy. It's changed the dynamics and it's brought a lot of science and statistics and number-driven analysis into the whole thing. There is a strong support staff that's also doing a huge amount of data analytics from everything. From the angle of the ball to the angle of the body and your ergonomics, all of that. There's so much of science that is also going into it, which is amazing. That's the reason why so many of these players are able to play all three formats and nearly 200 days of cricket in a year. Earlier, it used to tax them out. It still taxes them out, but they're able to still max out and they're, in terms of the yield, in terms of the performance from their bodies. Yes, Sanjay Jha. Then we go across to Angad again. Yeah.
Yeah, Anand, I wanted to make 2 points here. I agree with Anand today. I mean, we rarely do. But, India's bench strength, the perfect example of that is KKR. KKR had an outstanding season in the IPL, won the IPL for the third time. And there's not a single player from the KKR in the Indian team. That by itself tells you as to the kind of talent that is probably available for the Indian cricket team.
तो गिना ही नहीं हमने, वो भी तो है.
Yeah. Well, think about it, right? There's Shreyas Iyer, there's Rinku Singh. All these guys, I mean, these are guys who were not in your playing 11 during the entire T20 World Cup. Many of them were not in the team. And even, by the way, the other finalist was the Sunrisers Hyderabad. And there's nobody from that team either in the Indian T20 World Cup team. It tells you that there is a lot of talent and resource available. But since Angad is on the show, and I hope he'll correct me if I'm wrong, I saw him in a movie that very few people saw, Anand, but I hope you have because you're a big cricket fan. It was called, I think, Ghumar.
Yeah.
And it was, in my opinion, a fantastic film. I don't know how many people saw it. If they haven't, I recommend them to see that film. Yeah. And it's an inspirational movie. I think it's a fictional film. But Angad and I think the lady actor who's performed in that film was just about what's possible. Yeah, I think Sani Kher is what's possible when you believe you can. I think if you look at this team, like in any sport, if you have the self-belief, the sky is not the limit.
Yeah, well, but sky, for sky, it is limitless.
Yeah.
I mean, Surya Kumar Yadav. So, in this case, Kunal Kohli is also with us. Before I go to Angad, yes, commendations on your performance. So that's coming all around. But Kunal, did the cricket junkies think that we are not going to see Rohit and Virat in action? The two of them there together with the cup, standing there, that moment, that will be etched, it will be headlines, it will be front page, everywhere tomorrow, this picture. The camaraderie between them. But did the cricket junkies think that we're not going to see them? Nor are we going to see Jadeja or Rahul Dravid anymore.
We had a feeling. We were worried about that. And when Rohit when Virat announced it first, we were like, oh, damn. Is this the last time we've seen them together in a T20? Well, they'll be in ODIs together.
Yes.
So Cricket Junkies group will still continue to discuss. And we've been discussing cricket since the time when we were in school and we went and bought Sunny Days, one of the first cricket books by Sunil Gavaskar. And that was one of the first sporting books, or possibly in my life, one of the first books I read. It was one of the first books I read was Sunny Days. So he just got, Sunil Gavaskar not just got us into cricket, but he got us into reading.
No, but Angad, let me ask you, period of transition, if we are there will be a change of guards at two levels, coach and captain. Do you think we have enough on the bench when this transition happens, when the likes of Rohit and Virat are gone?
It is, because I feel that I honestly official confirmation coach ki to nahi aayi, but whatever I hear, and whoever's going to be is a very tough taskmaster, and he's already done wonderfully well for KKR, and also he's been my senior.
Your senior,
and I feel that if he's there, he's been part of the winning World Cup team. He scored a wonderful 98 against Sri Lanka, and it's not really talked about, but he's the man who put India on the map as far as the final is concerned. Yeah. So yes, if he's the man, then it's wonderful, to have him as a coach, and also new players on the bench who are going to come. Look at it. Shubman Gill ki jagah nahi bani, Sanju Samson ki jagah nahi bani, Abhishek Sharma ki jagah nahi bani. So I feel that all these new people are coming in. Rinku Singh, who's a match winner, is sitting out. And I feel that all these people who will come
Yashasvi.
in, Yashasvi,
Yes, yes.
Jaiswal, there is the
Ishan
bench
Kishan.
strength is, they will fit in any other team's top five. So I feel that if it's just sometimes, it's also a great problem to have for Team India कि खिलाएंगे किसको क्योंकि जिसको खिलाएंगे वो खड़ा उतरेगा. And I feel that it'll be great to see and how Rohit and Virat opened. I would love to see Gill open with the Jaiswal, and it'll be wonderful to see Rishabh Pant coming in at number three. So I just feel that our bench strength is it's very very good, very strong, and they're raring to go because they have age on their sides, they have fitness, and whether Virat going out of T20 has set such a high standard of fitness, for the last 10 to 15 years that everybody's emulating that now, and whether it's running between the wickets, whether it is or trying to gain those extra miles while fielding or trying to get that catch or diving forward. I just feel that new standards have been set and they will keep on being setting because अगर आप देखें fitness Surya Kumar Yadav, that
Yeah.
catch which made
I think
such a
they've
big
reached the
difference.
Wankhede. We're getting
So
pictures from inside the stadium
it's
also. Yes,
all
Angad, please.
there.
Yeah.
It's the hard work that they're putting in, the hours that they're putting in the nets or at training that are paying dividends. And now the new boys have to come and stake their claim. And I just feel that Indian team is got the next best 5 years to look forward to.
True, true, true. Absolutely, Angad. Quickly, I just want to, even as the players are, that's an iconic moment for me. We're playing it again, but we'll also get you pictures from inside the Wankhede where there's going to be a felicitation ceremony very, very soon. The players, the bus has reached that spot and they're going to go in. Ayaz, one of the moments for me post the victory was Rohit Sharma lifting Hardik Pandya and both of them crying on each other's shoulders. That was a lot that was expressed there. There was so much talk about two camps in the Mumbai Indians, Rohit Sharma not happy, him trying to derail Hardik. But throughout this World Cup, it didn't happen. In fact, Vimal Kumar, who was there, he told us that when they arrived in the US, Rohit and Hardik had a long chat, hand over shoulder and in a huddle for a long time, even before, 2-3 days before the tournament got underway. But those emotions that came out then, what was that? Did that mean all is forgiven? Or did it say, finally we've redeemed ourselves?
No, I think it's a combination of all things. I mean, redemption came through the victory, but the victory was made possible by all these players contributing. I mean, Rohit as much as Hardik Pandya and all the others. So I think you find common cause, then you find, that common cause erases whatever reasons there might have been of potential conflicts or actual conflicts or misgivings. And I think this is, and at the end of the day, the sporting instinct in all of them is very strong. You learn to overcome these kind of emotional humps, if I might put it that way. So I think it's a great thing for the future of Indian cricket also. Remember, Rohit is retired from T20. Hardik is possibly your next T20 captain. So, but they will play somewhere or the other in league cricket or in ODIs or wherever else. And I think it's a great thing, the coming together of all these, success brings its own rewards in terms of not just money that you get from sponsors or from authorities and all that, but also in rediscovering your own selves and your own friendships and your relationships. Right. So I think that's been, don't forget what happened with Rahul Dravid saying at the end of the campaign. That I got that phone call from Rohit Sharma, which, otherwise he was just going to walk into the sunset with a dream unfulfilled. I mean, look at it from Dravid's point of view. 2003 he's in the World Cup final, can't win it. ODI final. 2007 he's the captain and he bombs the team bombs. 2011 he's not found fit enough to be part of the team. He's just too old.
Yeah.
And he's been, one of the things that he's been waiting for, dreaming for, having done all the other things was this. And having lost the ODI World Cup final, he's prepared to walk into the sunset. He gets the call from the captain. Captain says, hang on, we've got one more chance. We'll do it together. So what a poignant moment.
Yeah.
And that's what dreams are built up of.
True. But how easy or difficult it is to build this camaraderie? Will the equations match when the elements change? Dr. Ranganathan.
I think, No, I think this camaraderie is forever, to be honest with you. I think the reasons are twofold. Number one, all these players, as I said, the unshackling of the Indians' legs, if I may say so, was the 1991 moment. And since then, it is competition. And if you're good, if you're the best, then your future is in your hands. And that is why I am such a big votary of the Indian Premier League, because that is what so many of these cricketers, their future is already secure. So in their minds, they're not thinking 10 times about, what shall I do? What shall I not do? They're
Correct.
just concentrating on the game. And they are getting the best facilities. And I also commend the BCCI for increasing the, I think the reward money is unprecedented 125 crore, which is remarkable. So I think everything looks good for cricket. Having said that, I have to say this as well, that ultimately, you talked about all the techniques, all the AI at the back, or the computer and this and that. Ultimately, what mattered was the skill of Surya Kumar Yadav. So you can do a million things. You can do a million things. But ultimately what matters was that he was wearing a shoe that was 1 centimeter away from the boundary.
Well, so was Akshar Patel. The skill of Akshar Patel is the reason why we are in the finals. There will be so many reasons. Had Bumrah not bowled that over where it was 30 on 30 and he clamped them and it came down to 24 of 20, 26 of 24. Those things, that pressure would not have happened. There are so many, variables which will come there. But at the end of the day, when you have the process, when you stick to it, success has to come your way. It can't bypass you every time. That's what happens. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Such a pleasure speaking to all of you. Sanjay Jha, Ayaz Memon, Anand Ranganathan. We also had Angad Bedi and Kunal Kohli joining us. And also shout out to Ashish Chaudhary and Kishore Trivedi ji. It's been a very, very special moment. That picture is going to be etched in my heart for a long, long time. Two greats, modern day greats, signing off in style, and the brohood, if I can use that term. It's just amazing, ladies and gentlemen. It's just amazing. Well, kudos to both Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. They deserve every single minute of that thrill, of that excitement, of that happiness for their contributions. And they'll continue to contribute with their willow in other formats of the game, but perhaps no longer in T20 internationals. Thank you. Brass tacks. And of course, we stay with the cricket celebrations. They are inside the Wankhede. There's a special celebration. We'll get you those pictures in a short while. Stay with us.